Hey guys, happy Baby Name Monday. Thanks so much for popping over and watching. If you're new, my name is SJ. I'm an English mum of 3 who is obsessed with baby names. I'm also Channel Mum's official baby name expert, so I seem to have managed to create my own little job there. I absolutely love baby names. I do a brand new baby name list here on YouTube every single Monday. So this week is in honour of Kate Middleton and Prince William and their gorgeous 3rd baby who is on the way in a few weeks. I already did the girls list a little while ago and I will link it below because I chose some quite different names for that. But while it is so close now for the boys, I'm going to give you what the bookies think she's going to call the baby, the name meanings and my prediction of why she could choose one over the other. So if you do want to bet on the royal baby name, you need to watch and figure out. Just put £1 on it. I think I might. Actually, I should definitely put a bet on it, shouldn't I? And I'll tell you what I'm going to place my bet on at the end of the video because I haven't decided. And I've also got another couple of wildcard choices for Kate that she could choose, particularly if she wants to go a little tiny bit less traditional. But these are also just gorgeous traditional English baby boy names fit for a royal prince. So the bookie's favourite for a baby boy for Kate and William is the name Arthur. So this is a very popular traditional baby boy name here in England. I absolutely love it. It's so funny how a while ago this was such an ugly name and it's come fully swing back into fashion, and that's what we see with baby names. They seem to go out for sort of 20 years and come back in. My dad's middle name is Arthur and I was like, I would never choose that for a baby, and now I really wish I had. Arthur is at number 30, so it is also the most popular baby name on this list, and it is one of William's middle names. So he is William Arthur Philip Louis, so it would be a very traditional way of naming a baby in the royal family, which is to take a middle name of a dad. A great reason why they may choose Arthur is their connection to Wales. Obviously, William is the Prince of Wales. When he went to university, he went under the name William Wales, and they lived in Wales for a very long time when they first were a couple. And the Welsh meaning of Arthur is bear, which is really cute and I think would appeal to Kate and Will, and it's a very modern baby name choice, as we know. They're really good friends with Cheryl Cole, so maybe they will want to link their 2 babies together with little Bear and little Arthur. His nickname could also be Art, and as we know, they are both met at uni studying history of art. It's a bit of a tenuous link, but you never know, they might be thinking about these things. I know I would, because when I think about baby names, I just obsess over all the details, which is good because it is kind of like my thing. But reasons why Arthur might be wrong are because he is royalty. There has never been a King Arthur. Obviously, there is the very famous mythical King Arthur, the Knight of the Round Table and all of that. Is King Arthur just a little bit of a joke name for a baby? He would obviously be Prince Arthur, but everyone would still take the mick a little bit, wouldn't they? And also another reason why this may not work is that it may become William's name. So when royalty ascend to the crown, they often change their names. I didn't know about this, but if Prince Charles becomes the king, he may take one of his middle names and become King George rather than King Charles. So if William ascends to the throne later on in his life, one of the names that they have chosen would probably be King Arthur, so he could also be the first ever King Arthur. So those are another reason why Kate and Will may not choose this name. What do you reckon? I think it is a gorgeous choice. I think that George, Charlotte and Arthur just sound so adorable together, and it's one of my favourite names, so yeah, I think it is a great choice. Bookie's second favourite choice for boys is the name Albert, so very similar. I think that this is an amazing choice for Kate and Will. Mainly, of course, we all know about Prince Albert, who was Victoria's lover, and that really famous movie recently, Victoria and Albert, was so modern and such a beautiful story that I think that it would make Kate fall in love with this name even more. She is a huge art fan, as we just talked about. She was at the Victoria and Albert Museum here in London, in South Kensington, opening up a new wing. And the V&A Museum is one of Kate's absolute favourite places to visit and enjoy all the art that is there. So that's another great reason why she may want to use the name Albert, because she has that connection. Albert's at number 64 in terms of popularity with parents, and we know that Kate and Will don't want to choose anything that's too lofty or too out there. We love it as a name. We like Bertie as a nickname, which is really cute. We also have those connections to like famous Albert. This is another name that's come full circle, so many people have an Uncle Albert. This may see a huge rise in popularity this year yet again. maybe taking it up even higher than number 64 when the new Mary Poppins film comes out, because Uncle Albert in Mary Poppins is the character who's constantly laughing and makes them all rise up to the ceiling, and it's just such a cute moment in the movie. We also know that Prince William is a huge Beatles fan. His favourite song is Yesterday by the Beatles, and the Beatles have a very famous song called Uncle Albert, so it'd be a nice musical connection for them as well. What do you think of Albert? I think it would be a slightly more risky choice for Kate and Will than Arthur, because it just sounds a bit more pompous and a little bit more associated with royalty, and they've kind of chosen quite down-to-earth names. Another reason it might not work is because Albert does sound quite similar to Charlotte. I think it's got that strong T at the end. If you say George, Charlotte, Albert, it doesn't go quite as nice as George, Charlotte and Arthur, in my opinion. So what do you think? What, are the bookies right? Would you place a bet on Albert? Bookie's third choice is the name James. I'm not sure that Kate would choose the name James, mainly because her brother is called James, and they don't really use names that close in the family. The royal names seem to kind of rotate a lot, but it more is commemorating William's side of the family, because obviously he's the royal. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't choose a baby name of my sibling. It would just get confusing within the family, and you'd have to call them baby James rather than James. What do you think? Have you chosen a baby name marking a sibling, or would you avoid that name because of that? I don't think she would. The bookie's next choice is the name Alexander. Kate has made a bit of a rookie error with this name by already using it as a middle name for her older son, George. So I think that kind of puts it off the list for them. She's used a lot of great names for George, and yeah, it is a bit of an error to do that as a parent. So when you're also thinking about middle names, it's also good to think, would I want this as a first name for a later child? And then if so, don't use it and save it for a later child. Next up is the name Henry. I had no idea that Prince Harry's real name was Henry. Apparently lots of other people did, because I mentioned this on my Instagram and was like, wow, I did not know he was actually Henry, and his nickname is Harry, and that's why we call him Prince Harry. Most of you knew it, maybe about 80% knew. 20% of us were still like shocked by that fact. So they could go with Henry. It is a hugely popular name here in the UK. Obviously King Henry VIII was one of our most famous monarchs and most notorious monarchs, I guess. So he could be a little Prince Henry, and that would be a nice way of commemorating Harry. We already said that it's quite difficult though to choose a sibling's name as the first name. If she's not going to go with James, can she really go with Henry? It's so tough when you've got family names in the mix, isn't it? That's why I think it's best just to kind of avoid them. We've used family names in the middle, so it could be that he's maybe going to be Arthur Henry James. That would be a great name. Then they have Philip, Edward and Charles. Obviously those are all commemorating family members. And next up for the bookies is the name Francis for a boy, which is Kate's dad's middle name. I'm not sure about Francis for a boy for them. It just sounds very unusual. It's more commonly known as a girl's name. I love it as a choice for boys, as a quirky hipster choice. I think it's too quirky for them. So some more edgy choices that I don't think Kate would go for, mainly because I think they would get vetoed by the royal family, but that she definitely would be interested in if she was not gonna be the queen. She'd marry someone else. But anyway, these are traditional English boy names that may be on her radar. First up is the name Caleb. Caleb is a biblical name, and it's a little bit more edgy than other biblical names that obviously are very popular for royals. Like Joshua was another choice I was thinking of for Kate, but I love Caleb for the fact that they are big Kings of Leon fans, and he is the lead singer of Kings of Leon, is called Caleb. They famously had Sex is on Fire as their last song at their wedding reception, and there was just like loads of people chatting about this scene of like all the young royals going crazy to that song. And it's edgy and cool name, and they are a cool couple. I know they're a little bit fuddy-duddy, but I think behind closed doors they are quite cool. It also means dog or faithful, and we know they are huge dog fans. They have their little dog Lupo in all of their photos, and he's a huge member of the family, so I think that would just really make them love the name even more. And I'm sure she's going to be going onto YouTube for help and advice as she is raising her new baby. She's probably watching all of Emily Norris's videos, and as we know, she has the gorgeous little boy Caleb, so I'm sure that when Kate is packing her hospital bag following Emily Norris's advice, I will link that video below if you haven't seen it. Emily Norris is basically the expert in all things for a baby's first year and pregnancy here on YouTube, and her son Caleb is adorable. I'm sure that's going to make Kate love the name even more. Can you see George, Charlotte and Caleb? It would be a cool new royal choice, wouldn't it? And my last wildcard for them is the name Theodore. Theodore is getting so popular. It was actually one of the most searched for baby names of the year, and I will link below a video I did which was all the most googled baby names. Theodore was on there and I really like it. We know that the nickname Theo is very down to earth and very, very popular, and I think that would be something that would appeal to Kate and Will because they don't, as I said, want to make themselves seem above anybody else. They're a very down to earth couple. But Theodore is also the male version of the name Dorothy, and Kate has a grandma Dorothy who is very important to her, so it would be a nice way of bringing Kate's family in. Theodore sounds quite regal, doesn't it? And Theodore means gift, which I think is such a beautiful baby name meaning. Those are my opinions on the bookies choices. Place your bets now, people, and then some wildcard choices for Kate and Will, because I reckon Kate's probably going to watch this. Hi Kate. Can we be best friends? I don't live too far. My choices, I'm gonna go, oh, it's really hard for me to pick and predict what I think. I think it's going to be between Arthur and Albert, like the bookies are saying. They are great names for a lot of reasons. I think she may go with Albert over Arthur, mainly because of the King Arthur thing. I think just sounds a little bit silly, and that would bother me if I was naming a baby that people might kind of take the mick a little bit. So I'm going to go with Albert because of the V&A and all of those lovely associations, and the fact it's just a really, really adorable name. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I'm going to go and put some money on that name right now, and I will see you all next Monday in my next video. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you are new. I would really, really love it, and do share with a friend you think would enjoy it as well. Bye guys.